Hey guys, welcome to the MindMesh podcast.
What you just said MindMesh podcast.
I said MindMesh.
That's not true. What's
MindMesh?
Whoa,
Okay.
where's this fucking godly voice coming from above? Welcome to the
I'm
MindMesh
Fish.
Oh, spooky. Welcome to the MindMesh podcast, everybody. My name's Chayton, as you heard, that's Fish. And we have a very special guest on the podcast today, and his name is Thy Billy.
Hey yo.
Wow. You want to know what's weird is that every time we have a guest on, I feel like they like introduce themselves in the same way. Like whenever we
just
introduce,
say hey.
Yeah, they just say hi.
that's how everyone introduces themselves.
Bro, I want
though.
a
They all say
full-on-
hi.
I need a full-on character description.
I mean, we're just all using the default emote. Give us a break.
That's true. I'm not gonna lie. That's he raises a good point. I think in the court of law, he would win that battle.
Time to play our favorite game, though.
Oh shit! It is time to play this fair game. I'm sorry, Billy, you can't play this game because this is MindMesh. Who is this? This is a game where me and Fisher describe who we have as a guest without ever really bringing the guest into it. So if we're wrong, the guest can't say if we're right or wrong. We just go with it.
But going off what Billy said, Billy genuinely looks like
The default character from Fortnite.
the default character for any video game ever.
Yeah, true. Whenever you go into a character customization for, be it a Elder Scrolls game or a Fallout game or Fortnite, or
You just
really,
hit default and it
Yeah.
looks like Billy.
if you hit default, it matches Billy. And I understand where you're coming from. You're like, well, wait, if I hit default in any game, they all look completely different. And that's the point. Billy, every single day, whenever he sends us a photo, a video, or anything to our group chat, he always looks like a different being. You can never tell who Billy is because every time he sends us a video or anything like that, he always has a different hair color, a different color facial hair structure, a different bone structure in his face. Every single time we ever see Billy, he is completely different. And that's what makes him unique.
Sometimes
You guys are gonna make me blush.
Sometimes I think he looks like a Funko Pop.
Sometimes I think he looks like Tom Hardy.
Sometimes
Sometimes.
he's under my bed.
Sometimes he reminds me of Spyro the Dragon.
Sometimes he reminds me of Bowser.
Sometimes he reminds me of It from It,
Sometimes
but the new It.
he reminds me of Pinhead Larry.
Some, sometimes
Who
he
you calling Pinhead?
sometimes he reminds me of that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where it's the weird ghost with the tomb. I forget.
Return the
Ramsey.
slab.
Return the slab. That guy, he reminds me of him. Not
You don't know
not
Courage
Gordon
the Cowardly
Ramsay.
Dog lore, bro? You're not cut up.
You're not caught up.
Jesus Christ.
How many shots you had? Where are we going? What's happening? But anyway, I feel like this. We've gone enough with this. Who is? Welcome Billy to the podcast. The audience, please clap for him. Yeah, welcome Billy to the pod. Oh my god.
Oh please, oh please.
That hurts my ears. But thank you, Billy, so much for coming to the podcast. Now that we've done who is, please tell us about yourself. Not any physical descriptions like we said, but just tell us like who you are as a person.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? What do you aspire to be?
So just what makes the old Billy clock tick, eh?
Yeah, no, for real though.
Exactly.
Well, I'm studying sculpture in at school right now. I'm working right now as an apprentice under a blacksmith, hoping to pursue kind of a career in bladesmithing and just general blacksmithing. I love video games. I mean, there's not a lot to this book. It's kind of it's more of a pamphlet.
He only plays hentai. Those hentai like
What
sexual
I was going to
games.
say is that he played Skyrim once, did the Iron Dagger glitch, and now he's set for life.
Yeah, I kind of am like life imitating art. I'm just going to kind of make 1,000 Skyrim iron daggers, and hopefully that'll make me a master blacksmith. So we're going to see how that goes.
Genuine question though. Do you think you'll make a lot of small knives just for practice? Like that's probably
Oh, I'm sure.
Like
Oh, yeah, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Just the whole getting in and doing it over and over and over until the first one you make looks like shit and the 100th one just looks a little bit less like shit, you
I
know?
mean,
So would you
that's
say the Skyrim glitch isn't actually a glitch, but just an accurate representation of how smithing works?
It's actually more intense role playing if we really want to get down to the nitty gritty here.
yeah, no, I was about to say I feel like blacksmithing is very much like Skyrim glitches where like you make duplicates of hundreds of items. Like with blacksmithing, you can't get better until you reach that like, oh, this is my 200th knife mark.
No,
Right. And then,
you can't make
sometimes
a
your
perfect
hammer,
knife
like,
the first
sometimes your
time.
hammer no clips into the anvil and you just
Yeah.
kind of got to reset it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm sure the anvil that you're working on just has a million knife handles just pointing out of it because so many knives have just no clipped into it that it's just unusable.
Yeah, texture glitches just really screw up my craft. That's probably the biggest roadblock.
See what he didn't tell you. He only blacksmiths in video games.
I wish that were true, but I know him, and I just know the next time we have like a friend meetup, he's literally gonna have a pirate scabbard, and he's just gonna be like, "Hey, watch me," and he's gonna slice down on a table, and there's gonna be a watermelon, and it's just gonna like split perfectly in half.
You
That's
know,
what I hope. That's what's in my heart.
Speaking of pirate swords,
I swear, if you somehow connect this to our first topic, I'm gonna be so impressed.
It's not our first topic. I was actually gonna switch it.
First topic.
I was gonna switch it around.
Oh, you're gonna flip flop the topics?
I was.
I'm down for it.
Okay, we'll flip flop the topics.
Yeah.
Because the last topic we were gonna do, we were just gonna shoot the shit for a bit. But I feel like we could
Bro,
do.
don't say that word. That's not very PG. That's not audience friendly. We can't sell that.
I'm so fucking sorry.
I don't believe you. I don't believe
That's
you.
the most dead air I think we've ever had in the podcast.
I'm glad I was here to witness it.
It was that moment. No, it was literally that moments where the audience should like scoff and like be like, "Oh, really?"
A collective gasp.
Yeah, it was really. That's literally what it was.
But one of my
Followed
favorite
by a laugh
stories,
track.
one of my favorite stories ever of my life is with Billy,
Yeah,
because me and
it
him
wasn't
were
with me. I'm kind of
Where-
insulted.
if you
He's talking about Budapest.
yeah, I'm talking about Budapest. No. Me and Billy are related, but we actually didn't know we were related
Yeah,
until
through
like.
incest.
Can you just let me speak for once?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
God
waiting.
damn it.
You need to hurry up.
You got me chuckling. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that I'm funny and you're not. Go on.
That's mean. But anyways, me and Billy are related. We didn't know we were related.
Have you ever had mushrooms
Stop.
on pizza? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Me and Billy are related. We didn't know we were related until what? You were in 9th grade and I was in 8th grade.
Yep.
So, and we didn't really become friends until junior year. But there's the story of the pirate sword. And Billy, you have the first half of the story, so I'll let you tell that.
Well, this story is broken into fucking 2 parts. How is this a 2-part? What's happening?
Well, it's kind of a 3-part, but
It's kind of a life story of this poor little object that's just been wayward for so many years.
go ahead and tell it, Billy.
Well, when I was littler, I loved swords. I mean, it's part of the reason why I want to go into like bladesmithing and whatnot. I've just always loved swords and old pirate movies and whatnot. But I was just in a store one time, and there was this really awesome, like, good quality Pirates of the Caribbean like replica toy sword or whatever, and it wasn't like that Dollar Tree sword that breaks after an afternoon of playing with it. It was like really solid.
Just to interrupt you real quick, I kind of have that same sentiment. I'm very much into getting replicas of whatever show or TV show that I'm in. I'm not into buying the toys. I'm always buying the fucking $200 replica items that are like literally smithed and made.
Like almost like props
Yeah,
from like the
legitimate props from the movies or TV shows. I'm always super. I'm much more into that than getting the replica, like the toys.
No, I completely agree.
Well, I was like 6, so
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like when I'm being honest, I was always more into like. I mean, because when I was 6, that was really kind of when. Let me see. Time wise, I'm doing the fucking calculations in my head. Let's see. Ben 10 was created when I was 10. Actually, whoa, that's kind of weird. Ben 10 was actually made when I was around 9 or 10.
Same, because we're the same age.
Yeah, no. But when that happened, I was more impressed with the movies, like the live action Cartoon Network TV movies, than I was the cartoons because they had the actual live action props.
Oh yeah, the live action Omnitrix always fucking.
Yeah, no, I was like literally when I was younger, I was super into prop making, like always looking up
Same.
how to make that stuff because I wanted to make those cartoon elements real life. I was so fucking into that. So I understand where you're coming from, like being at a young age and wanting to make cartoon things fictional in a sense.
oh yeah. But so I talked my mom into buying me this sword, and I'm sure it was for a toy sword. I'm sure it was a little expensive, like 20-30 bucks for it. But I mean, I was telling her like this is gonna be my favorite toy, blah blah blah. And I played with it for years. It was my like little right hand thing at all times. But I got older. I didn't play with it as much. And then one time, my sister was gonna be in this play, and it had pirates and whatnot in it. And she was like, "Hey, I know you've got that sword. Can we borrow it for this choir play?" And here, I'm like, no, no, no chance. That's my favorite thing. And she swears, "You'll get it back. You'll get it back."
And then you
And so
never
I
got
finally
it back.
broke down and gave it to her, and I never saw it again. I saw it in the play. I went and saw the play, and I was like, "Look at that. That's my sword." And I asked her for weeks and then months, "Whatever happened to that sword? You told me I'd get my sword back." And I never saw it again. And I just kind of accepted that I lost my favorite toy on a bad gamble. And, I haven't really trusted the same since that day, if I'm going to be totally honest.
See, I'm
But
not gonna
this-
lie. I'm the in a sense I feel similar to that, except I never lost anything because growing up, because we talked about this in the film field, I'm very much post production. I'm the VFX editor guy, and like the tandem that we have here. When growing up, I did the same thing, except I built props for VFX.
Yeah.
Instead of building, of course, you didn't build the sword to be put into a play, but I built lightsabers and stuff like that with like instead of the blade being the actual like blade of the lightsaber, I built the blade being pure white with like super neon green tracker marks, so that way I
You
could
could
film
make
myself.
VFX.
Yeah, so instead of like I could film myself
You just
filming it in
you
front of a
watched Indie
camera.
Mogul as a kid, like I did.
No, I didn't. That's what's weird is that I didn't watch Indie Mogul. I watched Video Copilot, and they had a
Similar thing.
they had a lightsaber tutorial, but their lightsaber didn't have tracker markers. Theirs was just a hilt. They were like flailing around, and then they just guessed how long the blade was. I was just like, that's not really smart. So I built a lightsaber hilt with a PVC like white plastic blade coming out, and then I put neon green tape around the like hilt area, and then 2 middle sections, and then the very tip. So that way I had very good tracking elements. So that way in like the VFX software, I could actually make a lightsaber. Which is kind of weird to think about that. Like, honestly, for each of our respective fields that our friend group is in, each of us, in a sense, like super early on in our lives, had a moment that like connected us to those things.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I started making YouTube videos in like the 5th grade.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of weird.
But going back to the sword, the story doesn't end there. The story picks up when my mom comes home with this toy sword that to give context before I finish this, she worked at the same school that Billy's sister went at the same high school. She comes home one day with the toy sword in the lost and found and says, "Hey, I found this toy sword. I thought you might like it." And it became my favorite toy that I would always keep next to me. It was my favorite toy sword because it was such a cool, sturdy sword. And years later, what Billy's junior year, my sophomore year of high school, we're hanging out in my room. One of the first few times we've ever hung out ever. And we're sitting there just talking, hanging out, and he's sitting there just walking around, just, pacing around, having a conversation, and he notices the sword, like, kind of, my closet's open, and
and he just like notices like buried under all the rubble, and he's like fucking King Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone. He's like, "What's this?"
Well, no, he looks at it and he goes, "Oh my god, I had a sword like this when I was a kid." And
I'd never seen another sword like this. I saw it that one time in that store, and then never again. My sword was the only of this, like, I don't know, brand or whatever that I ever saw. So it just blew me away to see another one again.
And I remember Billy goes, "Oh my god, I had a sword just like this as a kid and I lost it. And oh my god, I broke this piece off of it and it's not here on this one."
Was it broken on your sword?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
And then he goes, "And then this piece was chipped on here. Where did you get this?"
I stared him in the eyes and I said, "Wait, where did you get this?"
And he was just like, "I went to your bedroom. I stole it from you."
But somehow, some way, like, we've been connected for life through this, like, toy sword.
I feel like what's weird is that, going back to our friend group, I feel like we all have that weird connection.
Yeah.
Like, not as a group entirely, but like as individuals, we all have this weird, like, kind of like triangular function to us, where like somehow each person of our group has a connection to each other person of this group, and somehow
But in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way, and somehow that connects us to the group entirely.
I completely agree with that.
Bro, oh my goodness. If you don't be quiet, I'm going to go to an ad break.
Look, Fish, I need to know something. I need to know. Have you
What?
heard?
Yeah,
You have?
I
Are
maybe
you sure?
possibly. You can tell me though.
Have you heard of Anchor?
Like the thing that's on like boats.
No. Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. I'll let you explain. You said you knew about it.
Oh yeah. I remember now.
Okay.
It's free.
It's free?
Yeah, there's
Like
free-
absolutely free, no charge.
no charge.
Uh-huh.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer,
Wait, phone? You can just pull out your phone
and edit your podcast right from it. And
That's
record it.
wild. That's absolutely wild. What else does it do?
Well, you can distribute your podcast, or Anchor will distribute your podcast for you.
Where?
So it can be heard on Spotify,
Spotify?
Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts?
and anywhere else. Many more.
Wait, so like Google Podcasts and all of those, you can hear it using
yeah.
Anchor? Oh my, really? What else do they do?
You can make money from your own podcast with no minimum listenership.
No minimum listenership? Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
man.
You can just make money from making a podcast? I
Yeah,
didn't know
man.
you could do that.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Wait, so you're telling me that if our listeners want to make a podcast, all they have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started and make their own podcast?
Yes, that's all they have to do is
That's
download
all they have to do?
the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
That's absolutely wild. What a great steal.
What a great steal.
Welcome back
Oh
to-
my fucking god, I'm going to punch you in the testicles.
Why can't I,
Which
like,
one?
start
Which one? And
An
none. He
intro.
doesn't have any left because of how I dealt with him.
That's
What?
called tough love.
Tough love, that's right. Welcome back to the MindMesh podcast. Thank you all for listening to that lovely ad break.
You've heard it once, you've heard it twice, you've heard it how many times now?
This is like episode 27, so probably around 27 times. But thank you so much for listening to the MindMesh podcast. Unlike the first segment, we're going to have a topic for the second segment. which doesn't always mean that it's a good thing. Like, I think that first segment was really fun. But the second segment is all about growing up in the South.
Yeehaw.
Yee fucking ha. That's right.
Yee.
Now, I know that you two grew up in completely different states than I did. But I have very specific opinions of the South that I'm just going to go out and throw out. Like, very specific things that I hate about the South / love about the South. The first one, okay, I'm going to say the first one I absolutely hate about the South. The second one I love about the South, but have kind of grown out of. So the first thing that I absolutely hate about the South is the accent, which is kind of weird because everyone loves that long Southern drawl that they have, that Southern twang that they got going on. I dislike it. Whoa, dislike it? I'm a psychic that dislikes it.
I tried my hardest from, I don't know.
Well, that's what I was about to ask is like, in your guys' opinion, like me personally, I tried my hardest to not have that accent.
Same.
Billy?
For me, it was like, it wasn't a conscious thing, but I've also been told like my whole life, like my mom always told me, I don't know where your accent came from because you don't really sound like everybody else around here. But it wasn't like a conscious thing, but I also don't like mourn it being gone or anything.
I will say the first time it was ever brought up to me is which is weird because I feel like this is going to be even more like someone coming up is going to have more of a Southern accent than me, which as I say Southern, which is like the first time I said it is different than the second time I said it because the first time I said Southern, which is very Southern of me, but the second time I just said it was very not because I enunciated the
What were
end.
you? Get to your point.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. But my family, my cousins from Texas, they visited one time, and this is the first time I ever super noticed it, and when I super tried to get out of it, which is weird because as I said, people from Texas typically have a thicker Southern accent than where we're from because they are literally more South than us. But they straight up told me, they were like, wow, you have more of an accent than we do. And I was just like, wait, what? Excuse me? And ever since then, like I became very like super conscious of it. And ever since then, I've tried my best to like stay away from it. Like I try my damnedest to stay away from the Southern drawl, like as hard as I can.
I don't know. Just ever since I was young, I never liked the. I was never really keen of the
Pain.
keen. I'm just slurring on my words right now because we're a few shots in.
Whoa.
But I was never too keen on the Southern drawl, if you know what I mean.
I feel like it's honestly, truthfully, fully from my mom being a teacher and like a young, like first kindergarten age teacher. Like I feel like because of that, I was always super into phonics and how words are pronounced. That I started to hate accents because I was just like, that's not how the word's pronounced. Like I was very much the dictionary, like, oh, this is how the dictionary says it's pronounced, so that's how I'm gonna pronounce it.
You're such a robot.
Bro, how about you fucking shut up? Oh my God. No, but yeah, so it's kind of weird because I grew up with so much Southern mentality that like I like a lot of Southern things, but
My favorite Southern thing before you go any
all
further.
the fried stuff.
Southern food, you know where I'm going.
Bro, Southern foods, like I've grown out of it just because, you know, I'm trying to be better with my health.
That's understandable. I completely
What's the
agree.
point? If you have to give up cornbread, what's the point?
You have to give up
I'm
cornbread.
allergic to it.
What's the point of living?
Exactly, which is why literally every single one of our in our friend group is like, bro, why do you eat things you're allergic to? My response is always, I'm living.
I don't care if
I'd rather
my
live
shit's
itchy
bad.
than not live.
Yeah, I don't care if I'm stopped up for a week and a half because I ate cornbread that one day. but like I'm living. That's all I want. I want fried fucking chicken. I want fried everything. That's a Southern staple. They fry everything. Fried butter, we got it. Fried Oreos, we got it.
Fried Oreos are some of my
Don't
favorite
you
things to get at the
dare
fair.
talk shit on fried Oreos.
I'm not. I love them. I love them. I just can't have them.
Getting funnel cakes, or oh my god, going to the fair and getting some Laffy Taffy, or not Laffy Taffy, but the like homemade taffy.
I was never a big fan of taffy. I have never been a fan of candy that really sticks to my teeth. But I've also never been a big sweet tooth person.
I get what you're saying, Billy. Do you know?
See-
Do you remember what I'm talking about? The taffy at the fair.
Of course, like you can watch it on the pulling machine through a
Yeah.
little window and get it in the big box and everything.
You
One
know.
of my favorite fair foods ever was it. You're talking about you don't have a sweet tooth, and I think this like puts me in the exact opposite category because it's literally just an entire slice of cheesecake, but it's on a stick and it's dipped in chocolate.
Wait, sorry, repeat that? I got lost in thought.
I got lost in our Snapchat.
So you got a whole slice of cheesecake.
Oh, wait, no,
and
I know what
you
you're
put
talking
it
about.
on a stick,
Yeah.
and you dip it in chocolate. It is horrendously unhealthy, but like when you're walking around with a slice of cheesecake on a stick, you know, life's okay.
No, that's the thing is like what's weird about the South is that we love to fried sweet food and it somehow makes it better. Like it literally somehow frying a sweet dessert makes it a better food. It makes it more unhealthy, which I feel like makes it better. But like overall, frying sweet I'm sorry, Fisher is having like a weird laugh attack over there. He is straight up just gone. He is done.
That's probably one of the funniest fucking things I've seen in a while.
You guys,
All I'm gonna say is Billy check the Snapchat.
Oh, but something I want to bring up is that I'm sorry I'm switching topics, but I feel like this is important to touch on, especially from the South, because we have this weird like odd incest thing that
What are
goes
you
on.
talking about, bro?
Whoa, are you
Bro,
kidding me?
speak for yourself.
Are you? Oh wait, are you straight up kidding me? I feel like every joke I hear about the South is that everyone's related.
I mean, I guess look at fish.
Literally everyone is somehow related to someone else because somewhere down the family chain, someone's mom fucked someone else's dad.
Let me be clarify what I say when I say look at me and fish. We're related through marriage. I wasn't saying look at us through the
No, but
incestuous
I mean I understand that you guys grew up in more like northern South, but like are you telling me that growing up in like middle school, elementary school, even high school, you guys didn't hear those incest jokes because of where you grew up?
Oh yeah, no, we heard them all the time. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
okay.
both of us made them.
Whoa. I never made them. I was a good kid.
That's not true.
That's very true. Oh my god.
I hadn't done this recording session. I needed to do it.
I know. What I was really going to talk about is that I know we can connect with those like super Southern hypocrite, like Southern memes, I guess, like the memes that everyone makes about the South. But something that happened that I said that we would talk about, and something Fisher said that he didn't have a story for, was and I feel this is a very high school-esque story. This isn't like South or
Let me preface
what's up?
or give this preface, Billy. If you remember a time this did happen, remind me. I don't remember this ever happening or a similar situation that Chayton's about to bring up.
Did you in high school ever have a fappening type situation? You remember the fappening where all those celebrity nudes leaked? Did you ever have a time in high school where just a bunch of super popular kids like had their nudes leaked?
Never happened at our school that I know of.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It never
maybe it's
happened.
just so many high school movies that I'm just like, oh, that's common. Like,
But did that actually happen at your school?
Well, okay, a secondary question. It might not be on a mass scale, but did you ever have anyone's nudes leak? Like,
No.
where it was just mass, like, not at all?
I don't think so, no.
Not that I know of.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say is that the things that happened at our school were not leaks. They were social media posts.
Oh, that's even. Were they accidental social media
No.
posts?
They were
That's even worse.
They were a hashtag.
That's bold.
So on Twitter and maybe Facebook, I don't remember at the time, but in high school, whenever it snowed in our hometown, we had this hashtag. I don't remember what it was called. Like it might have been called like hashtag snow day or hashtag snow nudes or hashtag whatever. But whenever there was snow, for whatever reason, my entire high school class decided, let's go outside naked and hide our fucking testicles, fucking vajayjay, tits. Let's hide them with snow and take pictures. I like how you guys are silent right now, but I swear to God, this was a real thing.
No, sorry, I'm Google image searching for yours.
That's in high school, bro. That's
that's illegal. He's
Talking about Jaden, he's a robot.
He's fucking laughing right
robots
now,
don't
but
have-
he's just like, oh shit, I'm on the police radar.
Oh no!
Gotta delete my search history real fucking fast. No, but
Nani?
no, but this was a real thing at my high school. Like every time, and I remember very specific instances because it was mostly guys rather than girls, which of course makes sense. Guys have less to hide than girls. Like literally, a guy could go outside, make a snowman, take a picture in front of it with like his junk literally being hid by the head of the snowman and be safe. But no, this was a real thing at my high school where people went outside completely naked in the snow and just hid themselves behind the snow so that way they weren't fully nude, but they were nude.
That's weird, bro.
I agree. But it's also like in today's day and age, it doesn't feel weird.
It's I don't know.
Like when you
I
think
guess
about
it's weird to me because it never happened to me, but because like you were saying, it's such a common thing, and like
yeah, so many Instagram people, so many people on Twitter, so many people on Facebook, like that's their whole account is posting photos that show off
how did you
accentuated
get my
part.
multi-tool?
It's been on the fucking table this
Oh,
entire
okay.
time. But it's always showing up an accentuated or in what's the fucking word?
You said incestuated.
No, bro, I'm fucking slurring. Get off my fucking dick, okay?
Why are we so stuck on incest? Is this kind of podcast?
Well,
Like,
we grew up in the
What's
South.
wrong
What are you
with you,
talking about?
Jaden? Why are you thinking about incest so much? Is this something you need to tell us, bro?
Okay, I didn't want to tell you this, but I learned this about your family history. Both of you, Billy and Fish.
We're actually brothers.
You're
Our
actually
uncle,
brothers.
our
second degree
our uncle
removed.
is our dad.
Uncle is our dad. Fuck. No, I don't know. It was just a weird time
He's
growing up in high
speechless.
school. Like I'm literally speechless just for the sole fact that like I feel like I grew up like the high school experience that I had is more akin to like Californian high
did you-
school than
did you
Southern
li-
high school.
Did you live a movie high school life?
I fucking wish we broke in the song, but sadly it was all depression. No, I don't know how. I feel like we're talking about like Southern growing up, but I feel like what I'm talking about is just a complete outlier.
I mean, something we could talk about in the South that me and Billy did that I don't think a lot of other people that don't live in the South do for fun.
Yeah,
Me
go
and-
outside and get bit by mosquitoes.
Well, that and
that's a state sport.
How many mosquito bites you have?
just going out and shooting guns for fun. Like going out to like a random field, taking some cans and just taking pop shots at them.
Okay, I get you, and I raise you. I never did that. I never found it fun. I remember because my dad was super into shooting guns, and like literally everyone in my family was super, and literally every fucking male in my family was super into, oh, let's go shoot guns. And I went one time, and this was literally the only time I've ever shot a gun. And I remember like fucking pulling the trigger, and it fucking
Kicked back.
Yeah, it kicked back. And I was just like, wow, this is kind of boring. I
mean,
Each his own.
yeah, exactly.
I was never into guns. I was never into fire. Like literally, everyone's like, "Oh, it's such an adrenaline rush. It's such a fun experience. It's so fucking like invigorating." And I remember I did it, and I was just like, "This is kind of boring."
I mean,
I wouldn't
this
even
is
say any of that about, I don't do it because it's an adrenaline rush, or to me, it's just the same as like stepping out in my backyard and shooting my bow at like a little target I have. It's just a fun little thing where I can challenge myself. How good can I make this shot? It's
exactly.
See, even that, I'm just like, that's kind of boring because it's like I could literally do the same thing by fucking sitting down and solving a Rubik's cube.
I get what you're saying.
Like it's one of those like, oh, I can take aim and hit this shot perfectly. Well, it's like, yeah, so can the people throwing darts in a bar somewhere like 500 miles away.
Yeah, but they're having fun too.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, it's the same mentality. It's just different minds
And going off
are
of that,
hitting different points.
and going off of that, like something that's different between me and Billy. I don't like hunting at all. Like,
I don't care for it.
The only thing, and it's not like a moral thing at all. It's just like I don't have the patience for it.
Well, for me, I just find it boring.
Exactly. I find it boring because I don't have the patience for it. But like, I love like venison.
Yeah,
and
no, I
stuff
love
like
the
that.
meats that come from it. I just hate the
actual getting it.
yeah, I hate the harvesting of it.
See, I don't want to like be painted as some like master hunter or anything. Not because like you said the moral thing of it, but
No, you're
I've
getting
been
painted as a monster.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it's
You're
a
a
bad
monster, Billy.
No, that's not. I'm not getting to that. I'm getting to. I've been hunting multiple times and I've still yet to kill anything, and that's just because I have come to deduce that I'm like the worst luck to bring along on a hunting trip, because every time I've ever been hunting, it's been, my uncle, my dad, whoever I'm with, saying like, "Oh man, this is supposed to be some good land. There's supposed to be, deer, turkey, ducks, what have you here every single day. Guy who owns this land said he kills, this much, blah, blah, blah." I go there, it is as dry as a nun's cooter, man. Like,
I think that just means you stink as bad as Nico.
it just walks over and it just tells the deer, yo, he's over here.
You're
There's
literally
Billy right in that tree.
your stench like literally leaks out to those animals, and they're like, yeah, we know exactly where he is. That's literally what you're telling us.
No man, but
I
like
guess so, man.
But like I just had kind of more fun with like shooting guns, like shooting at a target, like you said, Billy, like just trying to have like practice aim and trying to see how good of a shot I could get. But I just never had the patience for hunting, and that's just like, again, to each his own. Like even if we like shooting guns, there's another like split difference between like how we like to do that hobby. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I don't know. It's kind of I feel like we started this topic off about like growing up in the South, but we focus in on very specific.
But I mean, those are all things that are like pretty
for
essential for the South.
Like when I think of the South, I specifically think of the accents. I specifically think about the food. I specifically think about the drinks with like sweet tea.
Yeah.
As soon as you cross like the Tennessee border, well, not Tennessee, Kentucky border, probably. As soon as you go into those northern states, Michigan, Ohio, all those. As soon as you ask for sweet tea in those regions, even actually if you go further south, like into the Virgin Islands, into Jamaica, Mexico, which I mean, of course, isn't part of the United States. I'm talking about like U.S. territories, which I don't know.
Mexico is not a U.S. territory, bro.
That's literally what I just said.
I don't think so.
I literally said Mexico. Well, I'm not talking about Mexico. I'm talking about U.S. territories. That's literally what I said. But I'm talking about like the Virgin Islands, the U.S. islands, Puerto Rico, stuff like that. Like ones that are like U.S. territories. Like as soon as you go south into that, they also don't know of what sweet tea is. Because for them, tea is just tea bags and water. They don't sweeten it. They give what the leaves give them.
Honestly, from like the past few months from what Billy's done, because Billy's gotten really into like making tea.
Oh no,
I've been down with this, with just that. I've gotten out of like sweet tea and it more into that kind of tea.
Well, that's kind of funny, like, because I was never, like, I drank sweet tea as a kid, but as I grew up, I found that I really don't care for any other drink rather than water. Like drinks to me, and I think this kind of aided in the fact that I grew up loving food, is that I started to grow up and I wanted to pair food with drinks that I felt like paired with food. And the purest of those drinks is water, because there's no taste. And in that case, you're literally tasting what the food's giving you, which I understand. Like, some foods are better paired with beer or wine or like other drinks. And that, like, literally every food has a recommended drink to drink with it because it aids in the flavor pairing. But like for me, as growing up, I've always become like super neutral in that fact of like, I've grown out of drinking, sweet tea for every dinner or milk for every breakfast type deal. I've kind of grown out with that and just gone with a super neutral water.
I get you.
Billy?
You there? Did we lose you?
Present.
Knock knock. Who's here? Class is taking attendance.
I haven't drank sweet tea in a while, and that just really comes from, like, I just buy me a case of water for the house and just go through that, you know?
Yeah, I just want to do better for my my heart.
See, I just drink soda. I don't drink tea.
Yeah, I just want to do worse for my heart. Same amount of fucking sugar. Actually, I think it might be more, depending on who's making the sweet tea. Really, depending on who's making the fucking sweet tea.
See, it's honestly got to be basically syrup for me to say that it's good sweet tea. Like,
It's gotta be
it better have half
molasses.
a damn bag of sugar in it, because then otherwise it's just weak. Like Sonic, A1, McDonald's, A1, but then like you go to some places and they give you like basically unsweet tea they like kind of like flicked a grain of sugar at and then missed the cup and then they call it sweet tea.
Oh, what's that fake sugar?
Like,
starts with a-
Stevia,
Yeah, Splenda. Yeah, they fucking flick some little granules of Splenda in there. That's
like somebody just bumps a line of that off the lid and calls it good.
No,
Yeah, that shit right there will just ruin your day.
no,
But I mean,
I'm in the same boat. Basically, I think the consensus that we're reaching is we loved growing up in the South, but we are growing out of the Southern mentality.
exactly.
And with that being said, thank you so much for listening to the MindMesh podcast. My name's Chayton.
And I'm Fish, and thank you, Billy, for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
If you would like to listen to the MindMesh podcast, you can listen to us on any podcast platform of your choosing or on YouTube. 2 days later, we of course upload our podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and on YouTube at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Wednesdays. And with that being said, I feel like I've already said that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Love you.